Sai Ram. Today we are going to talk about microbes in human welfare. Before we start the topic, let's revise some basics about microorganisms. As we see, we are talking about the types of organisms. There are two kinds of organisms, as you all know. They are macroorganisms and microorganisms. What are macroorganisms? Macroorganisms are the ones which are visible to our naked eyes, like a tree, a human, an elephant. Whereas the microorganisms are very tiny structures which are not visible to human eyes. They are visible only under microscope. Next is their existence. Where are they present? They are present everywhere on all surfaces. They are present in the air, they are present in the soil, they are present in water. They are also present in extreme weather conditions like snow, high water geysers and high pH levels. Then the types of microbes. We have bacteria, fungi, protozoans, viroids and prions. The first are bacteria. What are bacteria? Bacteria are streptococcus, staphylococcus. Then fungi are yeasts and molds. Then we have protozoans which can cause diseases like malaria, amoebiasis. And then viroids and prions. What are viroids and prions? These are basic protein material. They do not have any cellular structure, but they can cause diseases. Then the shapes of microbes. Under bacteria, we have rod-shaped bacteria and round-shaped bacteria. Rod-shaped bacteria are called bacillus. Round-shaped bacteria are called coccus. Examples of rod-shaped bacteria are Clostridium and Corynebacterium. And coccus are Streptococcus and Staphylococcus. And then we have a bacteriophage which has a different shape. What is a bacteriophage? It is a bacteria that is infected by a virus. So it develops this neck and tail through which toxins are released. And then we have adenovirus, which is hexagonal in shape but causes respiratory infections. Now we come to the main topic, the uses of microorganisms. Usually we relate microorganisms to diseases, starting from cold, cough, fever, to higher respiratory infections, UTIs, all are caused by microorganisms. Current coronavirus is a viral infection caused by microorganism. But today, on the contrary, we are going to talk about the uses of microorganisms, how they help us in our day-to-day life. So the first point here is the main use of microorganism is they are the final decomposers in the whole biological system. What does this mean? If a cat eats a rat, it does not eat the whole body, it leaves some remnants. So these remnants are eaten away by microorganisms. Starting from an insect to a cat to a dog to even a human body, it is completely decomposed only by microorganisms. So microbes are useful to us in various products, starting from household products to larger scale industrial products. They are useful in sewage treatment. Municipal waste is treated by microbes. They are also used for the production of biogas. They are useful as biocontrol agents and biofertilizers. So let us start with household products. The products which are at home, how microorganisms are helping us at home. So we are starting with the first product is curd. All of us consume curd every day. So this curd, we have seen how our mothers make curd. They take a spoonful of curd and mix it with a bowl of milk and leave it over a period of time. So what happens then? The next morning, when we see the milk, it turns into curd. How does this happen? This happens by the help of microorganisms by a process called fermentation. Okay, the first point here is inoculum. What is inoculum? It is the spoonful of curd or the sample of curd that is mixed with the milk which turns the milk into curd. Very important question. It is the sample of curd that is turning the milk into curd. Next point is, what is the organism? The organism involved is Lactobacillus. The organism involved in fermentation process here is Lactobacillus. What does Lactobacillus do? It releases an acid called lactic acid. So what does the acid do? It breaks down the protein, milk protein. Milk protein is a big protein. It's a complex protein. It breaks it down into smaller proteins and makes it easy to digest. The next point is, it also increases the nutritional quality. How does it increase the nutritional quality? By increase of vitamin B12. So this vitamin B12 is called cyanocobalamin. How does this help? It helps in absorption of iron and it acts as an intrinsic factor. Let me explain this to you. What happens is, if I consume an iron rich food like a green leafy vegetable or a pomegranate, the vitamin B12 that is present inside the body, it is helping in absorption of this iron. So if I don't have curd on regular basis, what happens? Vitamin B12 is less in my body. So in turn, iron absorption does not take place. So if there is no iron absorption, what happens? Blood levels are low and it leads to anemia. There are different kinds of anemias, but the anemia that is caused by the deficiency of vitamin B12 is called pernicious anemia. Very important examination question. What is pernicious anemia? It is the anemia that is caused because of deficiency of vitamin B12. So that is about curd. What all we spoke about? We spoke about inoculum. We spoke about the organism which is Lactobacillus. What does it do? It releases lactic acid. What lactic acid does? It breaks the proteins and then it increases the nutritional value. How? By increase of vitamin B12. And the deficiency of B12 will lead to pernicious anemia. So that's about curd. The next product we are going to talk about is batter. So what is this batter? Batter is the one with which we make idli and dosa at home. In South Indian homes, usually we eat it on regular basis. So this batter also is fermented. Microorganisms are helping us. How do they help us? The thing is, we grind rice and dal together, leave it over a period of time or overnight. The next morning, we see puffed up appearance of the batter, right? This process is same, fermentation. The same process called fermentation happens and the organism is same, Lactobacillus, same as curd, right? And then the puffed up appearance of the batter is because of release of carbon dioxide. Very important examination question. The puffed up appearance of batter is because of release of CO2. Alright. So we heard about curd and then batter. Both undergo fermentation. For both, the type of organism is Lactobacillus. Alright. So let's see the next one. The next household product is bread. So bread we make at home or we make in bakeries. What is the process here? Same, fermentation. For bread also the process is fermentation. How it is done? We take flour, either wheat flour, maida, ragi, and then we add something called yeast. So the organism here is different. It is not Lactobacillus. For curd and for batter it was Lactobacillus, but here it is yeast. So what is this yeast? Yeast is It is called Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It's a fungus. Very important question. What is Saccharomyces cerevisiae? This Saccharomyces cerevisiae, when it is used in making bread, it is called baker's yeast. The same organism, when it is used for brewing or it is used in making beverages, it is called brewer's yeast. The same organism, it is called baker's yeast, and it is also called as brewer's yeast. So here also the process is fermentation, as we spoke. What they do, they mix flour and yeast together, make a dough, leave it. Over a period of time, there's puffing up. Same process, fermentation, release of carbon dioxide, but the organism is different. Then toddy. What is toddy? One mark question. What is toddy? It is a traditional drink, mainly made in southern India. How it is made? By fermentation of palm sap. The sap from the palm trees is collected, it is fermented and had as a traditional drink. So other foods that can be fermented are fermented fish, fermented bamboo shoots, and fermented soya bean. And then we speak about the next product, that is cheese. Cheese is supposed to be one of the oldest products where microorganisms are used. There are different kinds of cheeses like mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, there's Swiss cheese, there's Roquefort cheese. So each cheese, the color is different, the texture is different, the flavor is different. Why it is different? Because of the different organisms used. So in curd and in batter we saw lactobacillus, and then in bakery we saw Saccharomyces. Here for each cheese there are different organisms. We are going to talk about two kinds of cheeses. One is Swiss cheese, other is Roquefort cheese. So what is Swiss cheese? Swiss cheese is also called as Tom and Jerry cheese. Why? Because in Tom and Jerry we see Jerry biting on this cheese which has large holes like this. What is the process? Same, fermentation. Why there are large holes? Because of release of CO2. Same as we read before, right? Why there are large holes? Because the CO2 is escaping out from the surface of cheese, leaving behind these large holes. And what is the organism for Swiss cheese? Propionibacterium shermani. The organism for Swiss cheese is Propionibacterium shermani. Next is Roquefort cheese. Roquefort cheese is bluish in color. Organism is Penicillium roqueforti. In the organism's name itself, we have the cheese's name, Roqueforti, Roquefort cheese. So that's about the household products. What all we spoke about? We spoke about curd and batter. Where there is fermentation, organism is lactobacillus. Then baking. In baking, we spoke about Saccharomyces. And then cheese. Cheese, there are different organisms. For Swiss cheese is Propionibacterium, and for Roquefort cheese it is Penicillium roqueforti. Till now, we spoke about household products where microbes are used in smaller quantities, right? When they are used in larger quantities to make products in a very big rate in industries, okay? Let's see where they are used. They are used in making beverages. What kind of beverages? Fermented beverages, right? So what do? We see this picture here. It is called fermentator. What is a fermentator? Fermentator is a large vessel, same like our home. Our home has smaller vessels. This is a large vessel. What do? They grow the microorganisms here in industries. They take the organisms here and grow them. So what is the process of making fermented beverages? They either take fruits like apples and grapes in this fermentator, or they take malted cereals. So what are cereals? Cereals are rice, oats, barley, right? and malted cereals. What is malting? Malting is a process where cereals are sprouted and dried. So they either take malted cereals or they take fruits in this fermentator and they add yeast to it. What is the yeast name? Saccharomyces cerevisiae, same as baking. In baking, when it is used, it is called baker's yeast. In brewing, when it is used, it is called brewer's yeast. Okay. So the resultant liquid, the fermented liquid that comes out is this fermented beverage. There are two kinds of beverages, the one without distillation and the one with distillation. Okay. The one without distillation are wine and beer, whereas the one with distillation is whiskey, rum and brandy. What is distillation? Distillation is a process where we increase the concentration of the liquid. Okay. So that's about beverages. Next, let's see what other products are made in industries. Antibiotics, one of the most important uses of microorganisms. Imagine if there were no antibiotics, all these infections would have no cure. So it is considered to be one of the most significant discovery of 20th century. What is antibiotic? Anti, against. Biotic, life. So it is against life of whom? Is it us? No. It is against the life of the organism that is causing disease. Alright. So first antibiotic was discovered by Alexander Fleming. This is also very important point. Who discovered the first antibiotic? Alexander Fleming. And how he discovered? He discovered by accident. What he was doing was, he was studying staphylococci. Okay, and he was growing them under culture media in the petri dishes. In one of the petri dishes, the staphylococci were not growing. All the other petri dishes had staphylococcus growing, whereas in one of it, staphylococcus was not growing. The reason was there was a mold growing there. And this mold was releasing a chemical that was stopping the growth of staphylococcus. So this chemical was named as penicillin, the first ever antibiotic discovered. It is penicillin. It is named after the organism or the mold that released the chemicals, that is Penicillium notatum. So the next point is Ernest Chain and Howard Florey. These are two other scientists who worked again on penicillin, and all of them established it as a potent antibiotic or a potent drug. Where was it used? It was extensively used in World War II. When it was initially discovered, it was extensively used in World War II. And all three of them, Ernest Chain, Howard Florey and Alexander Fleming, they were awarded Nobel Prize in 1945. This is also one of the very important questions. Which year they were given Nobel Prize? 1945, and all three of them. So this led to discovery of many other antibiotics later, which worked on a larger group of microorganisms. Thus, many dreadful diseases like plague, whooping cough, diphtheria, which were very dreadful at one point of time, were completely eradicated. This also led to discovery of vaccines, which also eradicated diseases like mumps, rubella, tetanus. So by the discovery of antibiotics, many dreadful diseases were removed, completely removed. Till now we spoke about beverages, then we spoke about antibiotics. Now chemical production of organic acids. These microorganisms are even capable of producing organic acids. So what do? They grow the microorganism in industries and extract this organic acids and use it in different products. So let us see what are the organisms, what is the acid released and how are they useful. The first organism is Aspergillus niger. It is a fungus. It releases citric acid. What is citric acid? Citric acid is a preservative. So all these packaged foods like the chips or the snacks, even the Tetra Pak juices, they all have this as preservative. So they grow this Aspergillus niger, extract citric acid from it and use it as a preservative. Next is Acetobacter aceti. The name of the organism itself tells what acid it is, acetic acid. What is acetic acid? It is vinegar. Where is vinegar used? It is used in all the cleaning products. It is used in cooking, right? Then Clostridium butylicum. The name suggests which acid? Butyric acid. Butyric acid is present in fats, oils, butters. This is the one that gives that typical smell to butter and ghee. So it's useful in making fats and oils. Next is lactobacillus. We already spoke about it. Lactic acid. It's helpful in fermentation process, curd, batter, all this. So all these are the organic acids that are useful in making various products. Next is alcohol. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. We spoke about it in production of beverages. It releases ethanol. So where is this ethanol used? It is used as alcohol, right? It is also used in medical profession as it's used as spirit. It's used in making drugs and perfumes. Next, enzymes. What are enzymes? Enzymes are catalysts that will speed up a chemical reaction. Alright? So these microorganisms also release enzymes which are extracted from them and used in various products. The first is the type of enzyme is lipase. What does lipase do? It acts on lipids. What are lipids? Lipids are fats. So lipases will break down fats. Where are they used? They are used as detergents. For example, I have a oil stain on my dress. Does it go if we wash with water? No. We put some detergent over it and scrub it and wash it. So what happens? What is there in this detergent? This lipase is there. What does lipase do? It breaks down the fat that is present in the oil stain. It breaks it down and removes the fat completely. Next is pectinases and proteases. What are these enzymes? They act on pectins and proteins. Where are they used? They are used in bottled juices to remove the pulp. Usually when we make juice at home, it has lot of pulp, right? But all these juices, bottled juices, Tropicana, Fruity, Maaza, they don't have any pulp. So they use this pectinases and proteases to remove the pulp. Alright. Next is streptokinase, released by streptococci. Alright. Where does it act? It acts on blood clot. Very important. It is used as a clot buster in myocardial infarction. What is MCI? Myocardial infarction. What happens in myocardial infarction is one of the main blood vessels that supplies to the heart is blocked because of a blood clot. So they inject this streptokinase and it goes in and breaks the clot so that the blood supply to the heart is retrieved. So they are not only useful for us in making household products, they are also useful in making enzymes where medically they are useful even to remove the clot busters like myocardial infarction. And then bioactive molecules. What are bioactive molecules? These are the molecules that can change the metabolism. What is metabolism? Metabolism is our body acts in a certain way. Our heart rate is in this rate. Our blood pressure is in this range. All the enzymes and hormones that are released have a range. That is the basic metabolism. But these molecules can alter or change that metabolism. The first is cyclosporin A. It is released by Trichoderma polysporum or a fungus. It's a fungus. It releases cyclosporin. What does cyclosporin do? It acts as an immunosuppressive agent in organ transplant. Let me explain this to you. If a person is undergoing kidney transplant, what happens? As soon as the operation is done, the immunity of the body tells the person that this organ is a foreign organ. So this is foreign particle to your body. Do not accept it. And the body start fighting against it. Then the operation will be a failure, right? So what they do is they give the cyclosporin A, which will suppress the immunity or stop the immunity of the person temporarily, so that the organ is accepted by the body. Next is statins. What are statins? Statins are released by Monaskis purpureus. It's an yeast. Okay. What does statins do? Statins act as blood cholesterol lowering agents and inhibit production of cholesterol enzymes. Cholesterol producing enzymes have been lowered by using statins. So for example, the blood cholesterol level of a person should be this much. And if it is there in that range, it is healthy. But if the blood cholesterol level goes up, it is not good for health. What it does, it blocks the blood vessels. In that case, statins are given. What do statins do? They go and stop the enzymes that are producing the cholesterol. So once the enzymes are stopped, cholesterol production in the body stops and the health is back to normal. So under industrial products, we spoke about beverages, and then we spoke about the various organic acids, antibiotics, enzymes, alcohols, and bioactive molecules. So we spoke about household products and industrial products today. In the next part, we are going to talk about sewage treatment, production of biogas, and biofertilizers. We have a small questionnaire here. Let me explain how the answer should be. First is, what is inoculum? We spoke about inoculum under curd. How is curd made? That is the answer for this. Okay. Next is, what is the organism involved in fermentation of curd? We spoke about a particular organism which is involved in both curd and batter fermentation. So what is that organism? What gives puffy appearance to fermented batter? When we were talking about batter, we spoke how batter puffs up, how it increases in volume. So what is that produced by the organism which gives puffy appearance? Next, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is called by two names. Mention them. We spoke about Saccharomyces cerevisiae both in baking and brewing. So what are the two names there? Then what is toddy? We spoke about how a traditional drink that is made by fermentation of a particular thing, particular plant sap. So what is that plant? That would be the answer for toddy. Name the three scientists to whom Nobel Prize was given for discovery of penicillin. This we spoke under antibiotics, and we spoke in 1945. They were given Nobel Prize. So who are the three scientists? Next is acetic acid. Acetic acid is produced by, we spoke about this under acids, organic acids. Acetic acid is the common vinegar. So it is produced by which organism? Pectinases and proteases are useful in, we spoke about this in enzymes. And then cyclosporin is used for, cyclosporin we just spoke about in bioactive molecules. So where cyclosporin is used. So I'll get back to you in the next part and we'll discuss about the answers for this as well as sewage treatment, production of biogas and biofertilizers. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.